Hello everyone, and welcome to the first writing vlog. Yeah! Um, how to begin your journey as a writer. Um, it's very hard, I will tell you this. It is extremely hard. You should just give up now. You're gonna be depressed, you're gonna cry, you're gonna wish you've never started this. So turn back now and find a new hobby to do. I'm just kidding. Um, let's see. To begin, I started writing, which I already explained this in like a month, like probably a year now, in a video of how I got started writing. I got started writing because of two games and a TV show. Um, I started writing because of World of Warcraft, which I do play. I still do play. Um, a game called Tales of Symphonia, which I used to play with my brother's now wife, his wife now. I just said that. His wife, when she was still going to college, when she would come over for summer break, she would always play it, and I said, "Hey, can I play with you?" And it kind of got my creative side going. And then Avatar: The Last Airbender was the show that really got me to start writing because of how it used the elements, how it uses bending and all that stuff. So how I started writing was I took a journal and I merged all those three things together. I um, pretty much slammed the world together and voila, that was it. So I wrote about, the Avatar group, I wrote about World of Warcraft, I wrote about the group in Tales of Symphonia, but what really got me was the character that I made, I still remember that she was a shop, not an innkeeper, but she was not even a shop owner, but she worked for a shop, and she was, I don't know if it was an alchemy shop or something, but she was in the shop, and I think they were in Bossing-se, I think. I can't remember. And something happened, I think the designs from Tales of Symphonia came, and they were overrun, and Misty, the shopkeeper, came out and actually helped them defeat the designs. And then I remember, I'm pretty sure it was my brother's wife, Ashley, because I was talking to her about it because I would always give her things to read. I was always throw a notebook, be like, hey, read this, because she was interested in the stories that I was writing. But I believe I mentioned something about I want to get this published or something about publishing. She's like, well, you can't because, these are already characters and they belong to people. So that, I'm like, okay, well, I focused on Misty because Misty's the character I made. And I took her out of the story and I threw her into her own story. Um, and I started writing my first book. I didn't call it a book then, but I would be on my laptop for hours writing, just constantly writing. I would have notebooks writing, I was writing and I was very motivated to do it. And honestly, I couldn't tell you why. It was nice. It was a great feeling to watch your story come to life. Um, so the first book I ever wrote was called The Last Rose Standing, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It was about Misty and her brother Lloyd get a letter from her father, or their father, saying that they have to go retrieve this rose because their mother, before she died, put it in some kind of haunted mansion. Now, the mansion was actually supposed to be from a different game, because just if anyone knew, but a game called Fatal Frame, the first one, um, it was supposed to be like have that spooky setting and stuff, but I'm like, okay, maybe people will know, maybe not. So I wrote it, I finished it, and I usually don't read my own work, but I did years later, and I'll tell you about that maybe in a different video. But from the end of book 1, I moved on to book 2. You know, I just kept writing and writing and writing. Um, so to get writing, you know, going back from the beginning, it's you. I wrote every day. You know, I wrote no matter how long it was. You know, I still played WoW. I still did other stuff, but I wrote every day for as long as I could remember. Um, so to really start your own, like, think about your own story, um, is first what kind of genre you want to put it in. Do you want it nonfiction? Do you want it fiction? You know, um, now a lot of stories are probably going to be fiction, unless you're doing like um, something that really happened or whatnot, which is understandable, you know. Um, but you know, looking at the genre, is it going to be mystery? Is it going to be fantasy? Is it going to be horror? Is it going to be um, sci-fi? You know, romance? Is it going to be a teen novel? Is it going to be a young adult novel? Is, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. So that's really where you want to start out first, is picking what genre you want to do. You know, if it's a romance, then you want to do, you know, no matter what genre it is, you want to do research on it. Now, I know that's going to sound funny or stupid, but you do. You want to do research on whatever you do, you know, whatever genre you pick. Now, the thing is that I never did research on fantasy, which was a big, big problem, because you could write a story and think it's all good, and then you actually look up how to write a fantasy story, and you're going to realize that there are so many rules that actually go into a fantasy story, and I'll get in those rules later. But just to kind of give you a little hint, like rules on magic, how you have to actually put a limit on magic, and you can't have this giant, you know, your protagonist be like, cool, I'm so powerful I can like blow up cities. No, you have to have rules and limitations on it, which was a mistake, and probably still today a mistake that I use, because I don't do the whole blow up thing, you know. Oh, I'm so cool, I'm gonna blow up this city or whatnot, or I'm gonna, you know, create a crater halfway into the world. No, it's just when you write stuff like that, especially magic, like you have to, it's kind of like cause and effect. So like, if I throw a fireball or whatever, you know, I can't just be like the same maybe for a while, you know, be, you know, still have that energy or, you know, that strength. But after a while, if you keep using that fireball, you're gonna have to get weaker. And that's one thing that I didn't do. And battle scenes are probably a tough one that I still have to do, and or at least work on. So yeah. So that's just a little stuff that, at least for fantasy, that you have to worry about. I'm sure there are a lot of other rules or exceptions or whatnot for the other genres. And then, obviously, setting. You always want to find out where your story is taking place. If it's a real place, search it. If it's close to your house, walk there, you know, jot down notes. Or if you like to travel, you know, go to that place. Like if you wanted to go to Italy or um, Germany or wherever, you know, wherever your story takes place, you want to kind of research about that too, kind of give a feel. And the best thing is that if you actually go to that place, you'll have a more insight of how it is, how it feels, how it works, and giving the reader like a good image of how it actually, you know, how it feels. Now for fantasy, if you're obviously if your story does not take place on Earth, obviously you want to dive into world creation. You want to create your world, and you will be surprised as how much good it can do if you actually sit down and take a week. Maybe it depends how fast you are, but at least a good week to kind of plan out your world, the races, um, the agriculture, the mountains, the rivers, how things were created, how did um, how did life start on there? A whole bunch of other stuff too. The more in depth your world is, the more it's going to really bring out your story, because if you have a group of people on this in this city, and they're only certain, they have a certain religion, they only do certain things, and your characters go to that city, obviously you don't want them to act like you don't want the city people to act the same as a capital city or something. Like, they have their own rules, restrictions, and stuff. So that is one thing I say for fantasy writers to really look into. Like, build your world. And again, research everything. It doesn't hurt that if you don't know something, it's okay. Research, plan out, plan everything. Um, which brings me to my next thing, characters. The same thing. You may not have to research your characters, but definitely plan out your characters. And the best advice that I've gotten is always do character flaws first. Because if you do character flaws first, it makes them more relatable and it makes them more realistic. So, like, if John has a twitch, or he always folds his arms when he's angry, or he always scratches his chin when he has, I don't know, whatnot. But like small quirks like that, you really want to add in and note, because it makes the character feel more realistic and people can relate to them a lot more. Um, and then uh, pretty much plot. Where does your plot go? Um, Mystery plot, someone was kidnapped or whatnot. Plan it out. And for plot also, I'm going to put this under two, is plan out your chapters. What main focus does your chapters have, or what main points does your chapters want to tell? But plan, plan, plan. Plan out your plot, plan out your characters, plan out your setting, um, and just, really heavily uh, do an outline of everything before you actually start writing. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, that's not really fun. No, it's not. And honestly, I will be very honest with you, I don't even do that. I don't plan out characters, I don't plan out setting or whatnot. And I should, because not only does it give you an insight of everything, but it actually helps you if you have writer's block. Like, you could be like, oh, I'm on chapter 4, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what I want to write. You whip out your outline for your chapters. Oh, chapter 4, this happens, this happens. So maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that, and then what do you know? You start writing and whatnot. I always get writer's block on chapter 1. Now, that's a bad thing. Very bad thing. I need a drink, hold on. I always, especially the past years, I've always had a problem of writing. A huge problem of writing. I can never get past chapter 1. And I tried planning it, doesn't work for me. I tried doing this, doesn't work for me. But I feel like I don't take the time to actually sit down and plan it. Like, when I'm planning, I'm always thinking about that story, and then I just want to write. So yeah, that's really a big thing, is plan, plan, plan. Plan anything and everything if you want to start writing. Then the last thing I have is rules. Now, this really applies to fantasy, kind of what I was talking about with magics. But you have to put limits on your magics. You have to put limits on your world. Just really, set rules in motion. Um, some, laws. Think of rules as laws. Like, okay, if they break this law, what happens to them? But that's really it. What I have, at least, to kind of get you really starting, to kind of really let you think of, starting your story. Um, Making sure that everything is in order, and write things that you actually like. Now, to help you more with this, or to kind of make you a better writer as far as all of this goes, make sure you write every day. Now, according to what I've read, um, they always say that you should write every day at the same time. So if you want to write between 10 and 11, or 9 and 10, or or if you like writing at night, write from 7 at night to 8 or whatnot. But they always say that write at the same time every day, because that's kind of when your creative juices start to flow, and um, it becomes a routine. Um, so there's that. Again, I don't do that because I always have a journal by my desk. I always have, I'm always on my computer. So if I want to write something, if I want to jot something down, I'm always there. Um, and then a big thing is read. Read your genre that you want to write. Read, fantasy. Read mystery. Read sci-fi. To start out, start in your genre first, and then expand your reading to different genres too. Romance, like I said, mystery, fantasy, sci-fi, all those. Don't always read your specific genre that you like to write in, because it can make it to where you can have an idea for a different story, or you can add elements to different stories, kind of get a different feel how different authors actually, their writing style. And then the biggest thing that I have is don't give up. I know all this information is going to be like, wow, I can't do this, I really can't. Um, but no, don't ever give up. You're going to hit writer's block, everyone does. I will make a video on how to get rid of writer's block, but just never give up, even if you write a sentence. Like, let's say there's a day where you're like, I can't think of anything, whatnot. Even if you write a sentence, at least you are progressing your story. I know it's not much, but at least you're not giving up. Um, but I believe that is it to start your journey as a writer. Um, yeah, I don't think I can think of anything else. If I do, I will make another video of this. This was actually a lot of fun. No, sorry, I kind of like wrote everything down, so I'm kind of just checking. I'm not a professional YouTuber, I'm not. I'll be honest, I'm not. So I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I know everything. No, I jot this down. Um, but yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below. If there's something I missed that you want me to talk about, comment down below. I'm cool with making more videos like this. This was a lot of fun. Now, I know I said in the vlog that I would be um, adding in different things too, like if you want to learn how to draw, how does this fit into the category? Well, I'll tell you how. You need characters to draw if you want to draw your own characters. Obviously, you really don't need a plot, but I will say this: if you are an artist, my friend, I'm not going to say her name. She knows who she is if she watches this. My friend is a fantastic artist. I was going to say drawer, but that's not professional. She's like a professional artist. Well, yeah, she's been going to school for it for a while. And she has shown me her progress through, from the first, like, not the first time, but when she was in high school, started drawing, to now. And it's amazing. It's always stunning. She always improves every day. But what she does is that she actually creates a backstory for all of her drawings. Where they came from, what world are they on, how they became to be. And now that's a really good idea if you are going to become an artist, depending on what you draw. It doesn't matter what you draw. You can draw a cat. Well, how did that cat come to be, It's always good to create backstory for anything you draw. I think that's a really good idea. You know, that it really inspired me to create backstories for a lot of stuff. But yeah, so if you're an artist, even if you're drawing trees or a picture of a lake, like, where is that lake located? Where is, is this on a fantasy world? Is this on Earth? It's, you could do a lot. I will say that. You could do a lot. Um, but yeah, never give up. That's all I'm going to say, is never, never, never give up. Even if you feel like you can't do it, just push on through. I will say this. I have felt like that many, many, many times where I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm a good writer. I don't think I'm a good this. You should never give up. You are your own worst critic, right? Just never, never give up and push yourself until you see your story come alive and see your story um, come to life. And when you don't give up and you finally finish your last sentence of your story, you're gonna throw down your pencil, or you're gonna throw down your pen, or you're gonna stop typing, and you're gonna be like, I did it. And then you're gonna feel very proud of yourself. So yes, never give up. So I'm actually gonna leave that video here. I'm sorry if, I've been looking down a lot. I wrote all this out, and I really enjoyed this, even though it was kind of monotone-ish, I would say. I'm not gonna lie. Gotta critique my own videos. But this is only the beginning, and beginnings usually become worse. Like book 1, But anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you be the best you can be. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!